like to introduce some folks who are here tonight, beginning with our CFO, Earl Husfeld, Rick Herron, our Director of Communications. I think Bobby J. Rigas, our trustees, back in the back. Are there any other trustees here? Jennifer Lofton's back in the back with her husband, Trey. Thank you all for coming, too. First of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues over here at the table. They've graciously offered to give me up their 8-minute slot, so I've got 32 whole minutes tonight to talk about the Aledo ISD bond. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I will hurry because I've got 7 minutes, 45 seconds left, so we're going to hurry through this as quick as we can. The state of Aledo ISD is fantastic. We continue to grow in the number of kids we have in the district, and also continue to grow academically throughout the district. In fact, just last week, I got our ACT scores back, which were embargoed. I hope that they're still not, but they increased across the board, and we're real proud of that. Have a number of things to be proud of, just like every other district and private schools and parochial schools do here in the county as well. I'd like to talk about our bond election we got coming up in November. Let's see, where are we? Can we back up a slide or two? Okay, you're right. Go ahead and advance. First thing, a little bit of information about our kids. We have 5,663 kids as of a couple of days ago. I won't read these to you line by line, but we're going to have about 300 more kids than we did last year. Since I came to the district in the fall of 2013, we've grown by about 1,200 or 1,300 kids, by about 25%. So the district continues to grow. Graduation rate's really high. We got a number of kids who are very successful, a lot of money coming our kids' way. Over 400 graduates last year, about $20.5 million worth of scholarships in all total, so we're pleased with that. Teachers doing a great job. You'll notice I put a couple of accolades up there for some staff members. The teacher that's in the Teacher Medical Association Award for Excellence deal, and the teacher finalist for the presidential elections. We purposely didn't put those teachers' names in there because Jeff Hanks will not leave my teachers alone. And I intend to keep them in Aledo and not in Weatherford ISD, so we're not going to tell Hanks who those folks are. Next slide, please. Our district now has 10 campuses. We just opened Walsh Elementary School. If you'd like to come by and have a look, we'd love to show it to you. 330 teachers. This past year we came in 4th place in the Lone Star Cup. A lot of folks who are familiar with the Lone Star Cup think of it as athletics. There are 253 5A school districts in Texas that are governed by the University Interscholastic League. Every year, those districts compete against each other in athletics and academics and fine arts. Every time there's a competition in any one of those 3 categories, there's a cumulative point total that's pulled together. We came in 4th place this last year out of 253 districts. We've actually, I think maybe before I came, even won it when we were 4A or 3A. But that's a big deal. Our district budget's up to $62 million a year. The last 2 items talk about the success of our business office. They and the school board together worked very hard to make sure that those dollars are used very efficiently and very wisely. And that's a collaborative effort not only with on the administrative side, but most importantly our board of directors who govern our school district. Next slide. I'm going to skip this one. I think we're going to skip the next one as well. A little bit about our strategic plan. You can see that on our website. This whole slide presentation, by the way, will be on our bond website. If you just go to our district webpage, it's at the very top. If you can skip past this one as well and that one. The reason I put this slide in is because we literally run into some folks who think that there are multiple ways to fund schools, to fund construction and school business. At one time, school districts got a lot more support on the state side, on the state effort, than we do now. 100% of the cost of building schools is through local bonds across the state of Texas for public schools. We don't get a nickel anywhere else to build public schools. We don't like the debt no more than we like the debt in our own homes. But unfortunately, because of the scenario of the state funding system, that's the only option we have right now. Next slide. This process really began a few years ago with the 2025 committee, which looked at the 10-year growth plan of our district. That plan was picked up by the bond steering committee. Next slide. Which had the representation from these different folks in the school district, mostly, almost all of them, parents in the district or grandparents in some cases. There are several of those members here. These are the folks that run that group. What they did was come back with a recommendation to the school board after using this information to make their recommendation to the board. They looked at our district snapshot, some of the information you saw before, our demographic study, where our finances are, and what the projects are that have been identified by the 2025 committee by that 10-year growth plan. Rolling forward. It's important to look at where we are demographically across the district. Right now, 5,663 kids. If you look at 2020, where the blue cell is up above, that's the number of kids we anticipate demographically when this middle school, that's a major part of this bond election, opens. So we pick up, what, 300 some odd kids, roughly 300 kids by that time. The reason we plug in that little box with 2,369 kids in is because we always look at five or so years out in the future. we update our demographics regularly, a couple of times a year. But realistically, if you look further than 5 years out, it gets very gray. And we want to make sure when we tie millions of dollars into buildings, into teachers and staff and so forth, we want to be accurate. So we have a 5-year look and closer to us. But look at the number at 2026, just not that many years down the road, 10,700 kids coming. So we're going to be growing. We're going to continue to grow. Looking at the middle level specifically, right now, if you look at the kids who are in grades 6 through 8, there's 1,310 of them in the school district. Whenever the school will open in 2020, if the bond does pass in November, assuming that it does, we'll see how the electorate does, we'll have 666 kids. So the 957 kid capacity building we have right now will be far outstripped by the number of 6th through 8th grade kids we have. And of course, you can see, if you hang 1 second, you can see that's over the 5 years, we're going to pick up 601 kids. Okay, advance, if you would. These are all the projects that are identified between now and 2025, 26. The one in orange is the middle school. As you can see, we're already in design there. We've already started working with architects to design that school in a very rough format because to open it in 2020, to avoid having to put portable classroom buildings up, we have to be in that design phase. Next slide. Okay, individually the projects, there's 2 propositions, and there's 2 projects within each proposition. Proposition A has the middle school at $61.1 million. You can see the components that are in that to save a little bit of time. Next slide. The other thing that's in Proposition A is the repurpose of McAnally Intermediate School. We moved our 5th grade kids back to the elementaries this year. Our elementary schools are K through 5. Our 6th graders remain at McAnally. Once we go to a second middle school, our middle schools will become 6th through 8th grade, vacating the McAnally Intermediate School. We're going to take the students in Vandegrift Elementary School and move them to McAnally, and I anticipate the board, although that's their decision, renaming McAnally Vandegrift Elementary School, and likewise the new middle school I'm guessing is going to be McAnally, or Charles McAnally Middle School. But you can see that repurpose is going to cause us to redo bathrooms and do some spaces there appropriate for elementary kids as opposed to the middle school it once was. The second proposition, Proposition B, does with our ag program. We've gone from about 75 kids in ag the year before I came to Aledo to about 350 or 60 kids now. We have just outstripped the capacity of that facility. We're going to propose to build a large animal barn, and honestly, to this date, I haven't heard anybody in opposition to that. It's a very well supported across the school district program. The last part of Proposition B would be to ask the community to let us borrow up to $3 million to buy land, because we're going to be buying land for decades to come for schools, and we need to stay ahead of that. It is a difficult proposition finding land in Parker County for schools. We've gone through that exercise, and I'm sure other districts have as well, but that's the last part of it. My role is not to try to get you to vote one way or the other. My role is to try to get you to vote. If you think that this is worthy of your vote to support, then please vote for it. If you think it's not worthy of your vote, then vote against it. The only thing I'd ask you to do is please vote. You can see that the voting dates are here. I would love to sit and brag about our district, because I could take a half hour just to talk about the good things that are going on in our district, but I wanted to get this in front of you all, those of you that are here in Aledo in our school district, and ask for your kind consideration. I do thank you for your time today.
I just want to assure all of you that regardless of where your kids go to school in Parker County, there are great schools in Parker County. I'm so proud to be out here in this community and being able to serve as superintendent of Weatherford ISD. So I want to tell you a little bit about us, and we have really tagged this saying, we're offering large school opportunities with a small town approach. And we certainly do, and I get tickled sometimes when we're taking a picture that's supposed to look real, flashy and technical and all that, and you look in the background, there's a cow in the background or something like that. I just love being able to do that. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick video to start off with, and if you have a kid in school, this should speak a little bit to you in regard to how fast time goes. But I wanted to talk a little bit about our enrollment trends. We're just like Aledo. We're growing. We're in excess of 8,100 students this year and continue to grow, and it seems like sometime in October it finally stabilizes. And so we'll continue to see that growth and what's happening across Parker County. I think Aledo is going to get hit a lot quicker and maybe harder than what we are, but we continue to feel the ripple effect of what's happening across the county. This is our average class size, and I just want to debunk a myth that's out there. A lot of people think that whenever you go to a larger school district, the class size automatically goes up, and so my kid doesn't get the attention that they would typically get in a small school setting. And that's not true. In fact, this graph takes the average of the other school districts in Parker County and compares them to the class size of Weatherford, and we're right there with them or below the class size that they have. So I just, you know, if you have people that are saying, well, I need to go out to school district A, B, or C because I'm in this large district, well, we're going to give you the attention that you need. Again, we're a small school mindset with large school opportunities. We do well in the state assessment, but I really think that the state mandated test is state sanctioned child abuse. I hate it. Yeah. But by law, we have to do it. And so we do it, but we don't make that the focus of what our educational program is. We expect our kids to do well on it, and I think they do well because of quality teaching on the front end. And so we have asked our community, what's important to you? What would you rather see us measure than just student performance on a state assessment? And there are 10 items there that came out in our survey, and we're going to develop measures for those and create a scorecard so that we can look at how our community, or what our community values, and then report back out to our community on how we're doing on those different things. I love the fact that community service is one of the items that was in there. We offer after-school programs and a summer program for our parents. Trying to take care of the whole kid. We know we have a lot of our families that commute in to work into the Metroplex area, Fort Worth or wherever. And so we have this program that has been running successfully for many, many years and will continue to do that. And we're offering our families an opportunity to have a structured day beyond school and an opportunity for them not to have to worry about or pay for additional child care. They come in and get involved in this program. Great partnership that we have with Weatherford College, and it continues to grow and bloom. I'm sure Mr. Baker will talk about that a little bit more, but we have an early college academy in place at Weatherford High School where our kids can enter as 9th grade students at Weatherford College, and by the time they exit Weatherford High School 4 years later, they will also have an associate's degree. And so we're working through that. Last year we started the program, had about 75 kids that participated in that and earning credit towards an associate's degree. Second year of the cycle, we have about 150 kids that are in there as 9th graders, plus the 75 that were in there as current year sophomores. So it'll just continue to build as we move through that program. A great partnership with WC, not to mention the other dual credit courses that we have and the CTE partnerships that we have with them. Our graduation rate in Weatherford is 98%. It beats the region and the state significantly. If your kid comes to school at Weatherford ISD, we're going to get them through the system, and they're going to graduate. Just like Dr. City was talking about a bond, I'm glad he's where he is and where I am in regard to bonds, because we're on the tail end of it and we're finishing up. I want to tell you about our 2015 bond. There were 3 propositions in that bond. It was a $74.9 million package. And, click. One of the big things was addressing accessibility issues at a number of our campuses. Some of our campuses have a little age on them. You can see in this picture, if I'm in a wheelchair, I can't get up to the front door of that campus. And so part of the package was to create accessibility across the district so all of our families can have access to the front door of the building. I think there's another picture. This is Tyson Middle School. Just like our neighbors to the east, we've done some restructuring of our grade levels. We've taken our 6th grade off of our elementaries so that our elementaries are now pre-K through 5 this year. Moved our 6th grade into our middle school so they become 6 through 8. And to do that, we added a wing at Tyson Middle School and built a brand new Shirley Hall Middle School. And that's a beautiful campus there. And I'm going to tell you, that's a showcase. It's not an expensive showcase, but the design of it is very flexible. The learning environment is like none other that we have in our district, and a lot of schools have come to look at that, evaluate it, and see if it's something they may want to incorporate into their instructional program. We added safety features to all of the campuses where there are controlled entries as you come in, additional cameras, keyless entry locks, a lot of different features to make the campus more secure for faculty and students. Click. And the biggest thing, all of that work was done on time as we promised and under budget. We beat the $74.9 million mark. The board is reinvesting some of that. If you go to the next slide, they're going to enhance some of the security features on the campus and expand that with $1.8 million of the leftover bond monies there. And just real quickly, we had some non-bond work done this summer. I just want to clarify for folks so that they don't think this work was done under bond monies. Real fast, click. We did some roof repairs. That was an insurance claim. Click. We did replacement of turf and track surface at Bruce Stadium. That was a maintenance item that we had planned for. Stadium looks great. Click. And out of fund balance, to keep our kids from traveling from the high school down to Kangaroo Stadium, they're building an artificial turf field and track up at the high school that keeps them located there at school, not having to get out on the highway. Taste for Education, we have a big foundation program on October 21st from 5 to 8 p.m. It's going to be at Jerry's parking garage. It'll be a neat event. It's kind of a 50 men who can cook kind of thing, and you get to come by and sample their cooking and vote on who you think did the best job.
I am in the fairly difficult position of not just being able to speak about my particular school. It's my privilege, actually, to speak on behalf of all of the private schools here in Parker County. Each of these schools thrives in their own way. Each has their own unique personality and strengths, just like the children that inhabit these schools. I want to say a special thanks to the Chamber for allowing private schools this opportunity for the second time in a row in the State of the Schools event. It's not easy to speak on behalf of the many wonderful private schools in our area. Like the children, the families, the communities that they represent, each of these schools has their own personality. Some focus exclusively on lower grades. Some are encompassing all grades through that senior year. Some are independent. Some are faith-based. Some are neither. Some represent a church. Some are on a traditional 5-day-a-week schedule. Others, like the Rock Academy, the Aledo Christian School, they employ that university model where they meet 2 or 3 days a week, kind of a homeschool blend. Grace Christian Academy offers both. So all that being said, I'm going to speak in very broad terms today. And what I would encourage you to do is go home, get online and visit some websites. Go visit some of these schools. Take a look and see if maybe something I say today resonates with you or with someone that you know, a neighbor or a coworker. Maybe you can go and visit one of these schools and see firsthand what they have to offer. Now I'm just going to get to the nitty-gritty. Having been in private education for about 20 years now, the elephant in the room is always tuition. So let's just start there. We'll start with money. And I can easily say that I trust you will find Parker County private Christian, private non-faith-based schools to be more financially accessible for families than anything you will find east of here, particularly in the Tarrant County area. Many families from Tarrant County actually drive out this way for their children's private education. We have many families at our school and many of the other schools that I'm speaking on behalf of today. In fact, a lot of families who have been transferred perhaps to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they will choose that school first. And we have many families who live right here in eastern Parker County because they have chosen one of our fine area private schools. How can you not talk about academic excellence when you're talking about schools? And again, in very broad terms, I see wonderful things happening. And again, I can't list all of those things. I can give you some examples in a moment. But again, visit websites. Take a look at Facebook pages. See what things are being touted among the wonderful private schools in our area. All of these schools, to some degree, that I looked into, and man, I'll tell you, some of them begin and end pretty quickly. And so even as I began doing my research for today, as I looked, there is a wide variety of schools, but most of them have some level of accreditation. Accreditation is something that you always want to look for in a school. It's crucial, particularly in that private school environment. Accreditation means that there is an outside authority that is imposing some sort of standards, some sort of set standard of excellence. Typically this hits on curriculum, it hits upon teaching staff. There will be on-site visits at the initial time of accreditation and then also the ongoing reaccreditation processes. This includes stakeholder input, ongoing plans for improvement. We see this proof of excellence again and again. A couple of examples. Last year's Weatherford College, man, Weatherford, you're getting lots of good publicity here. Weatherford College hosts their annual Coyote Math Championship. Last year's calculus team division was won by an area private school. Weatherford Christian School has an incredible STEM Scopes curriculum for their younger children. It gives hands-on exploration, 21st century technology skills, to provide kids with the skills that they need for a variety of STEM careers. A local private school has announced today that their senior class has 2 national merit semifinalists. That's the top 1% of students in the nation. One of our schools has 2 of those. You'll also see come May, many of these schools handing kids not just a diploma, but the opportunity to go to elite colleges across the nation, in many cases with great scholarship opportunities that make that college opportunity more affordable. Our private schools here in Parker County have many extracurricular opportunities. Athletics, it runs the gamut. Pretty much anything your child might want to do, there is a place for them to do that. They can play football, volleyball, basketball, cross country, cheer, tennis, track, golf, soccer, clay target shooting. There are so many different opportunities. Creative arts, instrumental, vocal, acting, musical theater, drama, so many opportunities. And again, take a look and see what it is that can meet your child's needs. What really sets us apart, though, are relationships. And I see this, I hear this again and again and again. It's a hallmark of the private school environment. Smaller campus populations, smaller class sizes in many instances. These provide opportunities for kids to know one another and to truly be known over the lifetime of their school experience. Not just the year that that teacher has them, but over the entire time that they're enrolled in that school. They grow up being known and a part of that family. This also provides a great variety of leadership opportunities. Older students mentoring younger students learning culture, learning values from older students over the course of their time. And the words, I love this, and I took this right off of Couts Christian Academy's website, where my friend Amy is the administrator. A parent writes, "The class size is perfect. It's small enough for individualized attention, but it's large enough that my kids can make lots of friends and learn to work with larger groups. It's like a big family. And my kids are friends with students who are older and younger than they are because they spend time together." In most of the private schools in our area, faith development is a key component of their school programming. Open discussion of and instruction in spiritual matters is a distinctive for these schools. They offer students an opportunity to learn not just about science, history, math, English, but how their faith informs those different subjects from a Christian perspective. Service goes hand in hand with that. And Parker County private schools serve. We give back. Last year, the schools on the screen behind me, and this is not all of them, and I apologize if any of your children are at a school that's not on there. I told you, Lisa, it was okay, and then after I said it was okay, I realized we may have missed some. So that's on me, not on Lisa. But we had a joint blood drive last year. And I swear, those people at Victory Baptist Academy, they must have been dry by the time it was over, because they gave more blood than I thought was even humanly possible. It was amazing. They blew us out of the water, but it was so much fun having that friendly competition. Our schools host food drives, clothing drives, pink out emphases for breast cancer awareness. Our staff and students are going to be volunteering at local nonprofits, Center of Hope, Parker County Miracle League, Grace House, and more. Schools will set aside entire days or weeks singularly for the purpose of teaching their kids to give back and to serve, not just locally, but globally. We'll have kids from these schools traveling across the world on learning opportunities as well as service opportunities. Just within the last year or so, area private schools have partnered with schools in Haiti, South Africa, England, China, Costa Rica, Belize, and more. And in the months to come, that list will grow. So finally, and I'm talking fast here, Jeff, thank you so much, because now I feel like I might be able to go over just a second. Finally, in an age where accountability, and that's a term that you can't have a conversation without the word accountability coming into it when you're talking about education, right? Our private schools are directly accountable to our customers, to the families with whom we partner. Without sacrificing excellence or losing their way to fads that might pass, the successful private school, man, we've got to be nimble. We've got to be quick on our feet. We have to be quick to respond to the culture at large, but also to our stakeholders. As businesses that are dependent singularly upon tuition revenue, with customers who can take that tuition revenue anywhere they would like, anytime they would like, our livelihood depends upon that. And as members of the business community, you understand that type of direct accountability. And I think that's an important factor in the excellence that we're blessed with seeing here in our Parker County private schools. So again, kind of in conclusion here, I'm going to quote a parent. We feel comfortable. We feel comfortable. Isn't that a good thing, to feel comfortable where your child's going to school? We feel comfortable and confident sending our kids to school every morning. We know that the teachers and staff are looking out for them. They're focusing on what's best for them in all areas of life, spiritually, physically, and mentally. So thanks again to the Chamber for this opportunity to share, and thanks again to the other school leaders who are here today. My school, we're blessed to have a fantastic relationship with the area public schools, with Weatherford College. And it's a great place to do education. You live in a good place. You got good places for your kids.
Would you raise your hand if you or a family member attended Weatherford College at some point? Look at all those hands. That's wonderful. When I moved here 25 years ago, I started hearing about Harvard on the Hill and SMU, South Maine University. And what is this place? And pretty soon I found out that Weatherford College is a very, very special place. And I've been there for 20 years. Right now I'm serving as interim president for the next few months, and it's my pleasure. I want to introduce a couple of board members. I know we have Judy McAnally right here, one of our board members. Yes? And I know we have Sue Cody right back here, also one of our board members. Thank you all for your service. Yesterday, this has been a very exciting couple of days. Yesterday was our count day, and that's the official day where we take a snapshot of our enrollment. And for the first time in our college's history, we have surpassed 6,000 students. We're actually at 6,357. That's approximately a 13% increase year to year at Weatherford College. We are so proud of this place, and we have great people. I'm going to tell you about our students briefly, give you some statistics. About 45% of our students are Parker County residents, 62% female, 38% male. So if you have a son, that would be a recruiting point for him. I'm just saying. Average age about 22. That's always surprising. People think the average age might be a little younger than that. We have a lot of folks coming back after being out for a while. We have about 33% that take online classes. 26% are dual credit students. And I got to thank Jeff and Derek and those guys. Our dual credit program, where you earn credit during high school for college, has just taken off. It's increased by nearly 50% year to year. And that's because of the hard work of these gentlemen and the folks that work for them. They've done a tremendous job. It's a great, great partnership for us. About 49% of our students attend classes in Weatherford. Let's talk about first-time freshmen. These are our top 5 feeder schools for this current semester. And this is first-time freshmen right out of high school, 178 coming from Weatherford. You see Alito there at 59. And yes, we do have a lot of TCA kids that come too, Mike. We know that for a fact. Next slide, please. Now, this is all students. So you may have graduated from this high school last year or 20 years ago, but kind of gives you an idea of where they're coming from. Weatherford, Granbury, Aledo, Decatur, Azle. Obviously, the local area is where most of our students are coming from. Let's talk about finances. I like talking about this because I feel like Weatherford College has a decided advantage in this area. This is 1 year of school, tuition and fees on average per year. This doesn't include books, doesn't include room and board, tuition. Tarleton, 8417. You see Texas A&M there. Look at that TCU number. It's a big number. Next slide, please. Weatherford College, 2440 on average per year. And most Weatherford College students aren't having to deal with room and board as well, or at least not room, any more than they would be. It is a wonderful, affordable option. Did you know that 70% of all freshmen and sophomores in the state of Texas are at a community college? And I think that's starting to be a big reason why. People are just realizing how expensive college can be and how you can get a great start with small class sizes, individual attention at a community college. Quickly about funding. Our board has approved a $53.9 million annual budget, tuition and fees, local taxes, state appropriations, that all funds that budget. Our tax rate is one of the lowest community college tax rates in the state of Texas, at about 11.3 cents per $100. We also have one of the lowest tuition rates in the state of Texas. Our board has done a tremendous job keeping that low. Speaking of money, my normal job is dealing with the Weatherford College Foundation. We raise funds for scholarships and other projects, and I'm so proud of our foundation board. There's 22 members on that board, and they have given more than $1 million in scholarships since 2010. That's increased every year. We give about $250,000, more than $250,000 this past year, and we have some donors that are here in the room. As a matter of fact, y'all do a tremendous job. It's just a great thing to be able to get up in the morning and realize that you're helping somebody. You wake up and know that there's a student out there that you're helping change their life. And that's one thing that I just love about my job. Very exciting. 2019, we will celebrate our 150th anniversary at Weatherford College. And we have a committee that's meeting actually this afternoon to start some of those plans, getting ready for that. We're going to have a year of activity, and we're really excited about that. We are the oldest continuing community college west of the Mississippi River, and that means tons of tradition. We're a family, and we're very, very proud of that. If you have any questions, please come see me. Jeff, I finished 2 minutes early. Thank you very much.